Catus Maximus here again, this time with the Harbor Freight round flex head center pivoting ratchets. So these are made by everybody. The Harbor Freight ones are obviously a better deal. And they're really not that bad. They're not badly made. They have a really nice strong ratcheting mechanism in them. The reversing lever really has a nice definitive pivot. They're really just not so bad. The only thing that can be said is the ratchet mechanism is so strong. The 1/4 inch isn't so bad, but the bigger ones, it's a pretty strong ratchet. So how they assemble these is there is a forged piece and there are 2 balls, and so that's why they're cut. They actually pry these apart to insert this. There's a couple of little cone washers that help prevent friction, and you can easily adjust the tightness through a Torx screw. There we go. There's a little Torx screw in there, and see, they just cut a slot so you can split it. And sometimes if you're torquing real hard, you can feel that it flex a little bit there, but this handle is still stronger than the ratchet mechanism. The big advantage to these flex heads is, of course, they're smaller, so they'll fit into a tighter space because they don't have as much of a head coming down. The other really big advantage is mechanically, because you're pushing on the center line of the socket. When you're trying to hold it on there, you can press pretty hard, or when you're trying to fiddle with the socket, you can get it on there at any angle, and it will stay. Here's the big difference. Here's a more traditional, and these are quick release. They have a nice strong quick release. Here's the professional grade one. And this is a more standard flex head looks like. The big issue is when you get onto a bolt, say you're having a hard time reaching it, it's one of the reasons you would have a flex head, and you can't quite get on the bolt, you're trying to do that, and then it just flops. And there's nothing you can do. I mean, it flops, you gotta hit the back of it to bring it forward, and try to get it carefully on the fastener. If you don't, it'll knock it. And that is actually kind of frustrating. And the fact that it pivots so far away from the socket, sometimes that just doesn't work. Sometimes you need to angle right close. So that's where these come in, is because you can see even over a traditional head, you can see where the pivot is. I mean, it's surprising. It gets you in this whole backspace might prevent you, where this will get into a real tight space. And then when you're in that tight space, you can press and hold on to it. If it's this way, you just press and it will just stay on the socket. It doesn't really, unless you push back and forth. But if you're trying to fiddle and get it onto a bolt like this, it really wants to stay. And then the other nice thing is you can go straight with it, and then it turns it into a screwdriver or a little like a ratchet screwdriver, and that's actually really nice too, because you can just ratchet it in nice and easy and then torque it, and it's really easy to use because it's, of course, again on the center line. So that was just a quick review, an overview of the Harbor Freight round centerline flex head ratchets, and they do have an over molded handle. Apparently the metal goes up to about here, which is just fine. And the overmolding, the plastic handles, if you haven't used them, when it's cold, it's kind of nice to grab these plastic handles and have them not be freezing. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Catus Maximus out.